my cream concealer, my cream foundation, and my cream brightener or highlighter, but they're all called highlights. Gotta confuse you, you know, so it'd be easy if they were called foundations, but they're called highlights. But once you kind of get used to the different terminology, it's basically a cream highlight and contour system that's all in one palette, compact, super easy to use. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and use a shade here, right here, my darkest highlight shade, which I call my camo or my concealer shade. And I'm going to pick up just a little bit. That's why I love this brush, because you can barely see how it just picks up a little bit. And I'm going to use this here to color correct some of the melasma and sunspots and things that I have. So I have melasma or a lot of darkness on my eyelids. So just tapping a little bit of this color here. And for those of you who want to know the actual name of this color, it's called Mango. Okay, it's the one I use for my sunspots, like right here, see that? And my age spots. And any areas like underneath my eyes here, just tap a little bit, and I'm blending that out. I'm just not reloading that brush, but I'm just pulling it across to color correct and kind of neutralize some of that brown area. So I have some more sunspots kind of down in here. Side of your face, I think most of us end up with a lot of sun damage on our temples as we age. You know, I didn't use sunscreen when I was younger, but I definitely do now and try to avoid being out in the sun on purpose, you know, like just baking myself. I also have, you know, so anywhere, basically what I'm doing is anywhere you need where you put your color corrector or your concealer. That's all I did. Okay, so good enough. Now, the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to add my contour, and I color match my clients or my customers to their makeup, and that's done all virtually online with a little color match form. So at any time you can hit the little airplane thing and you can message me if you like color match, and just type in the word color match, all one word, and I'll get you color match today. So right here is my contour shade, and I'm going to use that same side of this brush because this one here, I'm going to just pick it up. Now the contour is a little bit thicker, so you can apply it with your brush like this, or you can actually use your finger, and the warmth of your finger makes it just kind of smoothly glide on a lot easier. So I'll put it on with my finger as well. So I'm just kind of holding it in, picking up some of that color, and I'm going to put this right across my forehead about, I don't know, I want to go about 2 finger widths down just because I have a much taller forehead. So all this is doing just adding some definition and lowering my forehead, like giving that illusion that my forehead is smaller or shorter than it is. If your face is wider or fuller, you can bring your contour down to your temples, and that helps add a shadow underneath here as well. So I'll blend that in. The nice thing is about this makeup, the contour is actually part of your foundation, meaning it actually provides coverage. And so you can see already how just kind of slightly blending that in, you can still see a little bit of that shadow and definition, but I'm not totally having that harsh line. So the next place I'm going to contour is up underneath my cheekbones here. So I had already put a little bit of my color corrector right in this area where I have that sun damage. So I'm going to take this same brush, and I'm just going to lightly again brush it through my contour and feel out here where my cheekbones are. And I'm just lightly kind of stippling, but also kind of pressing that right up underneath that cheekbone. Now, I love this reference. For me, this helps me so much to know when to stop. And it's basically starting on the outside of your ear and stop your contour on the outside of your eye. Another kind of reference is to put your 2 fingers up against your nose and don't go any farther than that. So don't see how it stops right there. So it's pressing up underneath your cheekbone and stopping about the outside of your eye. Super simple. Now let me show you on the other side, applying it with your finger. So if you wanted to apply your contour with your finger, you can still do that. Kind of, I put a little bit on my middle finger here, and I'm feeling, there's my cheekbone. Let's add a little bit more. It's buildable, okay? It's buildable. So that's what's so great about it, is you don't, less is more. You can always build and add. And you can also blend it out if you get too much. Don't panic. It's not a big deal. Okay? So there it is, just putting it on with my finger. Again, you can take the brush. We're going to blend all this in. And we can even just do a little pre-blending as we go. And sometimes, if you get nervous, you're like, oh my God, there's a huge brown mark on the side of my face. Just do a little pre-blending, just lightly swirling over that area. I want to have that shadow underneath my cheekbones. See how that kind of helps kind of give a fake lift to my cheeks. So I don't want to blend it out completely. All right. Okay, hey, I'm so glad you guys hopped on. All right, so the next place I'm going to do is underneath my jaw. So again, just defining our bone structure. So let's do the finger again. So if we want to start over here, I'm going to look in my, sorry, I have to look down in my mirror here. So I'm going to put a little heavy on so you can see. So I'm running it right along my jawline here. Okay? Kind of started up by my ear and I'm running it along. Again, I can use the brush. We'll do that on the other side. Put some in and start out here. It's going to be a little bit softer application because it's half blending. As I'm applying it, it's kind of blending it halfway because I'm using a brush. Can you see that go on? And then you can also always put a little underneath, like right underneath here, to kind of add a little shadow to your under chin, under jaw, under area, just to define. There we go, boom, define that bone structure. All right, and we'll blend all that in. But that is my contouring. So it's almost like like an E, right? So across your forehead if you want to, underneath your cheekbones, and then down underneath. And that's it, pretty simple. Okay, and that's part of my 3D foundation. It's part of the foundation. So the next step is just to add the shade that would be my foundation shade, or the shade that you get color matched to that is closest to your skin tone. So this was my contour, my concealer, and now my foundation shade. So I'm going to switch over to the other side of this brush. This is the blush, this is the blend brush. And it is the brush that if you are having trouble getting too much makeup on and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm a more is more girl, but I don't want to be. I want to be a less is more girl with my makeup. Try this brush because you really can't over applicate. Is that a word? Over apply your makeup with this brush. So switching over to this side, I'm going to swirl it into my main foundation color. So I'm not really swiping. I'm actually just kind of swirling over the top. Okay, can you kind of see how much is on there? And now with this brush, instead of doing a stippling, you can actually kind of repeat that swirling motion. And I'm not going to reload. I'm not reloading that brush because there's plenty of makeup on there. What's on the brush, I'm going to kind of swirl around my contour. I don't want to go over my contour and remove it, okay? I'm just pulling color from the outside in. Okay, so let's reload the brush. I think it's empty now. So I'm going to, again, swirl over the top. Let's do the other side. So I'm going to do the same motion, swirling. And I'm kind of pulling my color around my face, where you would normally put your foundation. But I'm not going to go over the top of the contour because I don't need to. Let me add a little bit more. What I'm doing right now is I'm just going down into my palette and kind of swirling over. So I think it takes a little bit longer to apply your makeup with this brush because, it's a smaller brush. You're going to use less. But you're also going to get a lot lighter application. And see, I haven't even reloaded. I'm still just kind of blending. I'm going to go reload my brush, swirl it down here, and then definitely need some on my nose. So I'm going to go a little bit quicker here. Feel free to hit that, whoops, too much. So I put too much here. So since I put too much, I can either keep swirling and blending, pulling it up, okay, to disperse it across, or I could even grab my beauty blender, my perfector sponge, and I could lift if I really, really got too much on. It's hard to get too much. I'll put some up here. So hope you're having a great day. I don't know if you have tried this makeup before. I just turned 55. I'm so proud of that. I love being in my 50s. I love my 50s. And now, you know, when I found this makeup almost 2 years ago, I became obsessed with it. And what a difference it makes. It's just like so easy to use. And it just doesn't, I don't know, it just looks so different than cream or powder foundations that I'd used in the past. And I'm turning all red because I'm getting nervous. Oh, Lord, look at that. Who else does that happen to? All right, so basically I am pretty much, that's it. All right, so let's kind of just, I'm going to continue to take that brush, this fluffy end. I haven't reloaded it with any makeup, but I'm going to go in now and just lightly swirl and make sure, kind of pull down where that contour was. And just, you know, I almost pulled off too much of my contour. Now, if you do that, you can always go back and add a little bit more. If you feel like, holy smokes, Karen, you got a little heavy with your blending, you can always add more because it's buildable like we talked about, right? Okay, same up here on my forehead. I'm not a really heavy duty contour girl. I mean, again, I'm 55. That's not an excuse to say that I can't love contour or really contour up my face. I'm just not comfortable with doing a ton of contour, but I like it. I do like doing it. So I think it adds definition and bone structure. It defines your bone structure. And so it's great. Okay. All right. My foundation is on. The only part that I would do next is maybe add a highlight. It's still, these are all part of my highlights, but this one would be my brightest shade. And I can pick up the same side of this brush. You know, it's got if it has still of the color on it, just take a little clean paper towel or a washcloth and you can just rub. So just go like this. See how that just removes? There wasn't much left on there, but I can just brush off just a little bit. I've been guilty of using my pants, which is like really bad. So usually I will put like a clean little washcloth or towel in my pants, on my lap. So then I can just rub it off. But let's put a little bit of brightener. So I'm going to dab a little bit of this brightener. Let me back up a second. I didn't tell you what these colors are. So I know a lot of gals who use this makeup or are thinking about it. They're like, they want to know what shades I used. So these are color matched to me. When I color match you, if you haven't had that done yet, you can just click the little airplane and send me a private message and type in the word color match, just all one word, and it'll send you my color match link automatically. So this is my contour shade. Today I'm using Astoria. I can also use a darker shade and a lighter shade. It just, you know, it's pretty versatile. This is my concealer shade called Mango, and this is my main shade called Sandy. These are highlights. And then this is a brightener shade that I like to use right now. It's called Candlelit. And I'm just going to dab a little bit. And where I like to put some brightener, and a lot of makeup people and artists are suggesting that you put your brightener highlight on the inside of your eye, but not right underneath, not this whole area if you're a little bit older, and a little bit out here. So I'm still getting this brightness kind of in this area, kind of this triangle area, but I'm not loading up a ton of bright highlight colors that's going to emphasize my under eye, you know, poofiness, bags, things like that. You can also put a little bit of brightener up here on your forehead. So what we're doing here, why are we putting brightener in these areas? I'm going to put it on and then I'll show you. You can bring a little bit down your nose. Okay. This is what you want to brighten, is this triangle, this area right here. Okay, so brighten that part of your face, that center of your face, just pulls forward your eyes and just adds just this nice glow. So using this same brush, I'm just going to lightly, really light-handed, very, very light-handed, just kind of softly blend this in. I can also switch over to this side. And again, I'm just doing this kind of swirly buffing, real light. I'm not heavy-handed. I'm not heavy-handed on this. I'm trying to do it really, really light because I don't want to take all the makeup off. Here's the cool thing about cream makeup, why it glows, why it looks glowy like this. It's not oily, it's glowy. It's sitting on top of your skin. So it's not like seeping into your pores. It's not getting into your fine lines. It's not looking flat. It's actually sitting on top of your skin. So because it sits on the top of your skin, you want to set it. So we're going to set our makeup, but I'll go ahead and I'll put some cheek color on too. So the cheek, lip and cheek is also cream, and it all fits inside these compacts. So I thought I would use this shade here today called Frenchie. It's a really pretty kind of peachy shade. And remember how we talked about kind of your placement of your contour stopping on the outside of your eye? I kind of like to use that same reference for applying my cheek color. So I put a little on my finger here, and I'll smile. And from the outside of my eye, right above my contour. That's where I like to place it. Not so much in the center of my cheeks anymore because they're already kind of poofy, and I don't know. I want to lift, and I feel like if you put it up and above your contour, and this way, it really adds some lift to your cheeks and to your face. Can you see the color there? It's a really pretty color. That's called Frenchie. I just put it on with my finger. I'm just gonna use that same brush. I don't even need to clean this brush off. And I'm just gonna lightly, very lightly, swirl over the top just to kind of soften up that a little bit. You know, to blend it, so it's not like just my finger dotting it all over. But that is a really pretty shade. Here, I got a little right here, I see. And I always forget, you know, your compacts actually have a mirror in them, so you can like use your mirror too. But anyway, so I put a little bit of Frenchie here. You can also use, these as lip color. So this is Frenchie. It is a matte or satin. You see how satiny? It's not shimmery. It's very pretty for summer. If you want to add some shimmer to your matte lip and cheek shades, you can grab an illuminator. This one's called Rose Gold. Let me see if I can get it to show up here on the camera. Can you see that shimmer? It's called Rose Gold. You can add that to your lips. So see how that already made that more of a shimmer lip color instead of just a matte. And I can also add it above my cheeks to my kind of right above the blush to add just a little bit of shimmer there also. This rose gold's really, really pretty color. When I say it's rose gold, it's like rose gold, like the jewelry. It's such a pretty color. So when I'm all done, I can take my Perfector sponge, and if I feel like I got a little heavy-handed anywhere, I can press and lift any of that makeup. Then I'm gonna set it. So you have to set your makeup with some setting spray because it sits on top of your skin. Setting spray, or you know, if you want to use a setting powder, you can. I just am trying to get away from powders as much as possible. So I just use my setting spray. This is the setting spray from Seint. That's a great formula. Shake it up really well. I'm gonna get back, make sure I'm pointing it in the right direction. Close your eyes and your mouth and spray your face. Now, to make it go quick, I have this really cool fan. So if you can find some cute little fans, I don't know if they're a fan, find a fun fan. And then this is just a quick way to dry my setting spray. So it's just dry and good to go. Okay, so I thought I would go ahead and do a quick eyeshadow. I don't know if anybody had a question for me or not, but hey, thank you. I'm glad you're here. Hi, and thank you for belated birthday wishes. Thank you so much. Yeah, 55 ain't so bad. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. Okay, so eyeshadows. So if you haven't seen these palettes before, this is actually one of my palettes. Everything's magnetic, so it just sticks in there. So here's the makeup that I used just now. And then on the other side, you can actually put more makeup. I can put bronzer, and there's that illuminator. We do have a setting powder, so if I wanted more of a mattified look, or let me grab a little brush. I can pick up a little bit of translucent setting powder and just pick that up with a little powder brush. And let's just say, you know, oh gosh, I feel like I get really shiny and glowy right here in my T-zone, and maybe you just aren't used to that. You want a little extra mattifying, you can do that too. The key is just use translucent setting powder, not pressed powder, but more of a light translucent powder. Thank you so much. And if you want to get color matched, same thing. Just message me the word color match and I'll take care of you. Have a great Wednesday afternoon and I so appreciate you. Bye.